If you're using the no contact strategy to help win back your ex, then you are definitely going to want to watch this video all the way to the end, because in it, I'm going to tell you about the 3 most common mistakes that people make when they're employing no contact, and why all 3 of them are going to anger your ex and hurt your chances of ever getting them back. As you guys already know, I am Brad Browning, and I've been a breakup coach for over a decade now. My channel here on YouTube has 60 million views and counting, and I've helped over 130,000 clients get through a breakup or win back their ex. In fact, I've actually even helped to popularize the no contact strategy and make it one of the most common recommended tactics for getting a second chance with an ex. So I do know what I'm talking about on this topic, and I promise that you will regret it if you make any of the 3 mistakes that I'm about to talk about. Let's start with the first one, which is mistake number 1, telling your ex that you're going to go no contact before you stop talking to them. Now, I don't know why so many people feel the need to tell their ex that they actually plan to use no contact. Maybe it's because they want to warn their ex that they're about to disappear, or maybe some people just think that you need to tell your ex that you're going to stop talking to them for a while in order for the technique to actually be effective. But either way, it's absolutely not necessary, and in fact, it's usually a very bad idea. So typically, you don't need to let your ex know that you actually plan to go no contact on them, and doing so is usually a big mistake, and it's going to anger or upset your ex if you do tell them. So from your ex's perspective, hearing that you plan to just suddenly stop talking to them is going to be upsetting, right? They'll wonder why you feel it's necessary, and often they'll think that you're doing it to punish them or to try and get back at them for breaking up with you. Really, the only exception is in situations when you need to use my clean slate message template first. Now, this is only applicable if you've made a bunch of serious mistakes with your ex already, begging and pleading, for instance. Now, if that does describe your current situation, you can watch the full video on my website, breakupbrad.com, to learn a little bit more about how and when to send the clean slate message to your ex. Otherwise, it's almost always safe to begin your period of no contact without telling your ex that you're doing it. Mistake number 2 is being rude or ignoring important messages from your ex during the no contact period. So let me clear up one thing here. You should not always ignore every message that your ex sends to you during the 30 days of no contact. I mean, yes, many of your ex's attempts to contact you can safely be ignored, and that is what I recommend in many cases. If they're reaching out to just say, what's up, or they're sending you a late night drunk text, well, those types of messages can and should be ignored, especially the first few times. I mean, after all, no contact is intended to shut down as much communication with your ex as possible. But there are absolutely times where a reply is necessary. So for example, if your ex is asking you something important or meaningful, you are likely going to have to respond, or they're eventually going to get angry. So this applies especially to situations where you have kids together, you live or lived together. If your ex is asking you to pay a shared phone bill, for example, telling you to pick up the kids from soccer practice, asking to get their favorite sweater back. Those kind of messages, you really will need to reply and take care of the issue, or else you risk blowback from your ex. Now, you don't have to reply right away, and you don't have to make much small talk or turn the message into a back and forth conversation. Just do whatever you need to in order to satisfy your ex's request, and then go back to no contact. The second situation where you'll likely need to break no contact and reply to your ex is when they're constantly messaging you and becoming frustrated by your continued lack of response. So, you need to engage your ex if they're becoming, visibly angry or upset because you haven't responded to their calls or their messages. So when it does seem like your ex is losing patience like that, just respond with a friendly message saying, sorry, I've just been busy, to kind of, calm the waters and assure them that you're not trying to be rude or get back at them for something. And finally, if you have to see your ex regularly at work or school, there are some times when you want to engage in what I call a limited no contact. Now, this is kind of a modified technique aimed at ensuring that you get the benefits of no contact while still maintaining, the minimum level of communication. So if you and your ex are colleagues and, you have to work on projects together at the office, in that kind of situation, you are obviously going to have to talk to them regularly. So click the pop-up here in the corner or the link below in the description to watch my previous video about limited no contact if you are in the kind of situation where seeing your ex daily is unavoidable. And on to mistake number 3, ending the period of no contact too soon or too late. So as I've said many times before, 30 days is typically the ideal amount of time to shut down communication with your ex. For the average breakup situation, right around a month is usually the right amount of time for no contact. And science actually backs this up too, because it's been proven that around 30 days is when your ex's feelings of missing you are going to be at their strongest. But it is possible that you may need to employ a longer or shorter period of no contact in certain situations, because otherwise you'll hurt your chances and potentially cause your ex to become upset or frustrated. So when is 30 days too long? Well, typically only when you and your ex were together for just a few months or even less. So if your relationship wasn't serious and it didn't last very long, then 14 to 21 days can usually be best for no contact. And similarly, if the breakup happened more than a month or two ago, and during that time you haven't really spoken to your ex at all, well, in those situations, you've basically already started employing no contact. So you can probably get by with a shorter no contact phase before you're ready to open communication again. It's a lot more common, though, for my clients to not employ no contact for long enough. 30 days is going to feel like an eternity when you desperately want to reach out to your ex. So many people cave in and break no contact early. But please don't make this mistake, because if you end no contact too soon, you won't get much benefit from using this strategy. So have faith and stick with it for the full 30 days, even if you haven't heard from your ex at all during that time. And in some situations, although it is somewhat rare, you may need to employ actually a much longer period of no contact. I've even recommended up to a 3-month no contact phase to some of my coaching clients before. Typically, this is only necessary when your ex has specifically asked you to give them space and stop contacting them, or if you've really screwed up and you've begged and pleaded with your ex repeatedly already. So there you have it, guys. Just to quickly recap, mistake number 1 is telling your ex that you're going to go no contact on them. Mistake number 2 is being rude or ignoring important messages from your ex during no contact. And mistake number 3, ending the period of no contact too soon or too late. So don't make any of these mistakes, folks. Have faith in no contact. And of course, you can always visit breakupbrad.com/coaching to sign up for my one-on-one personal coaching and get my personal guidance to ensure that you end up back with your ex sooner rather than later. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.